What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the realms of metal. Eddie here, back with you from the happiest place on earth, my metal room here in the woods in PA. We got a special one today. We got my main man, George, from George G's Room of Rock, back in the house. George, welcome back.
Thanks for having me, Eddie. Always a pleasure.
You're welcome anytime. Good to see you, brother.
Happy New Year to everyone out there.
Same here. We were talking, George and I were going back and forth, and I've been wanting to make a video about W.A.S.P for a little bit, and I posed it to George, and he was all in. And it just happens that he's been listening to a ton of W.A.S.P right now too, which worked out perfectly for both of us. Little history for me on W.A.S.P. It was a band I get into as a kid, and then after the Crimson Idol, I always felt like W.A.S.P fell off a little bit for me. Very similar to Danzig. That after Danzig 5, that's where I wore my Danzig shirt today. But I got turned on to the later Danzig stuff, and I was actually talking to Vincent Crowley and about W.A.S.P. And he's like, "Oh, you got to give the W.A.S.P discography another chance. It's better than you thought it was." So I did, and I've been listening to it a lot, and I've been listening to all the later stuff the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I like it. I like it. It's not as bad as it is. I shut it out, and I was like, oh, I'm not even going to listen to that, and then and now I'm like
Yeah.
into it again.
Oh yeah.
How do you feel about the early stuff versus the later stuff?
Um, their early stuff's their to me their best era from the first album to through the Crimson Idol, And then
Yeah,
the other stuff is like it's not hit or miss. It's got some good stuff, and then it's okay stuff. The
yeah,
later stuff, the last two albums I thought were, but we'll get to it. They're pretty good. So,
okay,
but they've been around a long time. So
yeah. Brief history on Was, if you're not familiar. They formed in 1982 in Los Angeles, California, by Blackie Lawless and Randy Piper. They were in a band, I believe, called Sister, and then they changed that name to Circus Circus. Am I
that's
right?
it. You're right.
They've got they're classified as heavy metal slash hard rock. I mean, I would agree with that. I would say they're more on the metal side than the hard rock side. And a lot of
Yeah.
people even throw them into the glam category for the way they dress, but I don't agree with that at all, George.
No, they're like I call it like a shock metal.
Right?
That's like what they were because their first couple albums they were basically
Yeah.
shock metal.
Yeah.
But Blackie's actually from New York.
Is you really? Yeah.
Yeah, because there was a rumor that he was in a gang with Ace Frehley
A
called the
gang?
Duckies. Yeah, it was Ace Frehley was in a band, was in a gang called the Duckies, but Blackie Lawless was not part of it.
Gotcha.
But there's a rumor that because Ace Frehley actually I watched the interview with him and said no, but I knew Blackie from the '70s,
Yeah.
so he's a New York guy.
Right.
So
One thing I don't agree with calling Wasp a glam band at all. They had the look of the glam bands, but they were way above in
yeah,
heaviness and songwriting, in my opinion.
absolutely more sinister songwriting, especially in the early days. They weren't talking about partying all the time.
Yeah.
So they were talking about a little other stuff.
And the great thing about Blackie is I think he's such an amazing songwriter. Like he's written some killer songs. Like I'm just looking through
Absolutely.
the word. Like I'm just going through the discography these last couple weeks and trying, picking out my favorite tracks. It's like track after track after track is so good. He's
Yeah.
such a great songwriter. I think he's underrated. A lot of people say he's kind of a pompous dick in real life, like that. He has that rock star attitude. Have you ever
Yeah.
met him? What do you think?
No, never met him. No, I
I
saw
never
him
met
live,
him.
but never met him.
I did watch. He's doing a on his last tour that he did. I did watch some videos. He was doing meet and greets,
Uh-huh.
and it was very expensive to get those meet and greets. It was like $300 or $350 to meet him. You got one
Yeah.
picture. You got to sign one thing or whatever.
Yeah.
And I saw some of those interactions, and he does kind of come across as like a pompous rock star kind of guy. He's got that attitude,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
but that doesn't bother me.
There are a lot of more like that. What can you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing
So
I will say about Blackie is like he's got such a distinct vocal and delivery. Like
yes.
somebody could put Wasp on and it's Wasp as soon as Blackie opens his mouth. He's got, such a signature style
Yeah.
voice. Um, and just the way he sings his songs. There's like there's almost like a cadence, like at the end of his lines. Like I wrote down a couple examples, like inside the electric circles. The hunger of the animals are calling. Like he rings out that last word on
Yes.
so many lyrical lines that he does. Like you
Yep.
can literally pick out 100 of them. And
Yeah.
to me, it's like a signature thing that he does. What do you think of his vocal delivery and style?
It's definitely unique. I mean, he could do the little soft vocals and then just come with that snarling kind of scream.
Yeah, yeah,
But not that it's a horrible scream, it's just like the way he says it. It's like it's kind
right.
of like rips your throat out. But the funny you talk about, he you don't consider him part of the glam movement because he did. I don't know what tour it was where they played with Slayer. So you don't see the glam bands didn't play with like the,
No,
the thrash bands, but they did. I don't know if they opened for who. I don't remember that, but I know they
right,
did play together.
right.
So,
It's pretty
so
cool.
that's yeah. So Wasp was definitely more of a metal
Yeah,
band than
I totally agree with that.
with all the theatrics and stuff like that. I also got a lot of trouble with early days too for tying a girl up
I know.
and all that stuff, and
Well, don't forget they were part of that filthy 15.
that's right.
Fuck Like a Beast was supposed
Yeah.
to be on the first record. It got
Yep.
nixed because, obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And then they released it as a single, I believe, right?
Yep. Yep.
And one
Yeah.
thing about Blackie is he don't give a fuck about nothing. He don't care what you think, what I think, what anybody thinks. He just does it his way, and you got to respect that.
Yeah, well, that's what it's all about is the attitude and just like not compromising. He does that's his vision is what it is. So that's what he wants it, and now he's like basically the sole guy doing it now.
Right.
So, but definitely the earlier stuff is a lot different, and I guess more input from the other members too. So,
Okay. So let's rank them, George. Why don't you take the lead on this, however you want to do it?
okay, well, so I can see it better. So the first album, Wasp, which came out in '84, which it is a classic, but for most people, this is like their favorite one. For
I
a lot of
agree. Yeah.
people because it's just got it was a little unique for the time. Like I said, it came out in the whole glam area right when glam was just starting, and it really didn't fit in. But if you know, it's the only cover. The whole band's on the cover,
Right? Yeah.
and no other album they did that with.
Yeah.
And I mean, it had I mean, I first seen I want to see be somebody the video for that. He's
Yep.
on that little thing, hunched over like with his knees. I'm like, wow, like it's pretty crazy, but
It was pretty
it
good.
was a great song. And Love Machine, penis makes him king. That's one of the lines. I think that's one of the lines. But it's a great album. It's the only album with I don't have the thing on me. The original drummer. Is
Right.
it on there? The original drummer. What's his name on there? Because mine doesn't have it.
I could get that for you in a second.
Tony Richards, I think. Right? I think it's Tony Richards.
I think you're right. Tony Richards, you got it.
Yeah, they had some problems with him after with I think drugs and alcohol, so they kind of kicked him out.
Right.
But it does a great job on the album though. So
Amazing job. Songwriting
yeah,
is off the hook. Every song is good on here.
absolutely. And just as a side note, because you had said it before, this is the single they released for
There you
"Fuck
go.
Like a Beast."
Yep.
So this one, and this was released on Restless Records, and it has "Fuck Like a Beast" on this one. "Show No Mercy," original song, and then they do a couple live tracks, and they could cover Mountains, Mississippi Queen.
Right. Yep.
She did a really good job, I think, of Mississippi Queen. One thing
Yeah.
about Wasti, oh, they do pretty good with the covers.
You know what? I was going to bring that up because I was looking at all the covers that he does, and you could tell a lot about the artist by who they cover. And he
Exactly.
covers all these classic bands: The Who, Ray
Yep.
Charles, Deep Purple, Chuck Berry, Jefferson Airplane, Zeppelin,
Yep.
Uriah Heep, The Stones, Mountain, Elton
Yep.
John. Like
Yep. Jethro Tull.
that tells a lot about me, about Blackie to me, what he covers. So
Yeah. Yeah. So if I was gonna for the our ranking purposes, I would actually put this at number two,
okay, mine
almost
is
a number
actually
one.
the first Wasp for me is that number three.
Okay. Doesn't matter what you rank them; it's how you feel about them. Because
Right.
people they get all up in arms. How can you rank that here? I'm like, well, this is it's
I
the way
think
I feel
all the
about it.
early Wasp stuff can be interchanged. Like every record
Exactly.
is good, and it's all you know. Probably
Yeah.
probably when you got into Wasp, like if you were into Wasp from the very beginning, that's probably your favorite record.
Yeah.
I
What
didn't
was
get
the first?
into
What What was the first one you bought by them? Was it the one you first bought them or no? Or no?
Headless
Okay.
Children.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
We'll get to
Yeah.
that one. All right. All right. Next one.
Oh, The Last Command.
There you go.
When did this one come out? Let's see. 1985.
Yep. First one with Steve Riley. Rest in peace to Steve Riley.
And Chris Holmes.
Chris Holmes on the first one too.
Was he on the first one?
Oh yeah, look at the album cover. Yeah, look at your album cover. That's him on the front of the cover there. In the back. He's on the
You're
first one.
right.
Yep.
You're right.
Yep.
Again, another great album, man. Like every
Oh
song
yeah.
on here is good.
Absolutely. This is the first one I ever got by them. So I got into them later. Like I was into like didn't get into probably like maybe 1990 something, but this is the first
Wild
album I
Child.
bought. Yeah. Oh my God. What a great opening track.
And
The whole thing's so great.
where would this be for you, George?
This is number one.
Is it your number one, really?
Number one.
Yeah.
Always my number one. Because I listened, like I said, I listened to them all pretty much this whole last couple of weeks. And I'm like, because I was going to do a ranking and you called and you're like, oh, let's do it. I was like, that's perfect. I don't know how you knew I was listening to W.A.S.P, but you knew. But yeah, it always been my number one. I always like the cover.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, I don't know why. I mean, maybe some of the other songs on the first album, people might think are a little more classic, but Wild Child's a great tune.
Amazing.
I mean, Widowmaker, the slower ones, Widowmaker Cries in the Night are great, great tunes.
Yeah.
Running Wild in the Streets, Last Command. Yeah, Blinded Texas, of course. Their biggest hit probably is Blinded
Yeah.
Texas.
Yeah.
You watched the video for that?
I did. Yeah.
It was ZZ Top's in that. They have a small cameo in it's so funny they're in there. Like, why can't they get them in the video?
Yeah.
But it's a great one. Yeah. What about for you?
This would be my number 5.
Cool. No wrong answers. All right. What are we up to now? All right.
Circus.
Inside the Electric Circus. That came out in '86.
86.
Here's this one. Uh, different cover. They actually painted him with that cover.
Did he really? Yeah.
They actually painted him with the stripes and stuff. He's not wearing a leotard. That's what I read.
Okay.
So, well, I don't know. Whatever. So I have the whatever years came out. This is a remaster version.
Yeah.
It's got the extra tracks on this one too.
Yeah. A lot of these early W.A.S.P stuff, when they got reissued, they had bonus tracks on all the CDs.
Yeah, I got a couple of them. This is one of them. But this one is just. I don't think it's as good as the other ones, but still, it's good though. I mean, the opening track for Electric Circus, and of course, 9-5 Nasty is a great tune.
Yeah.
They got some good stuff. And they do a nice job of Uriah Heep's Easy Living.
That side A is gold. I mean,
Yep.
Circus, I Don't Need No Doctor, 95 Nasty, Restless
Yeah.
Gypsy, Shoot from the Hip, all killer
Yep.
songs. What a
Yep.
great side A.
Absolutely. I don't Doctor. I think that's Humble Pie.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's Humble Pie because I don't Doctor. Like that's their. I have a lot of Humble Pie album that's on there. I think that's their song now.
Is it their song? Because it's
Yeah.
listed as a Ray Charles cover.
Well, like then they covered the Ray Charles then and did a good job on it. So I'm sure Ray Charles doesn't sound like that. Then yeah, there you go. I didn't look at who wrote it though because mine's so small, I can't read the writing anyway. But they did a good job though. But they obviously when they covered the Humble Pie version of it.
Really good. When I was a kid and I heard this record, I had no idea that was a cover. I had no idea it was a Ray Charles.
Yeah, neither did I. Neither did I. You don't know it.
Song.
Yeah, but actually, I put this one at number 4.
Inside the Electric Circus is my number 2.
Awesome. Cool. Now, just so we know, we're not ranking it. I put it up there. The right for that put up the Live in the Raw album. So do you have that at all?
It's one of my favorite live records ever.
That's a good one. It's got that the Manimal, which is supposed to be the son of Animal.
Yeah.
And I like the Ghoulie song.
Love it.
Scream Until You Like It.
Yeah.
That's a great tune.
Now, Harder Faster is on the live record. I can't find when that was released before this. Was that a single or something?
I don't think so. I think it's another one they just put on there. Like same with Manimal. They didn't release that either. There's only like 2 I don't know.
Where did those tracks come from? Were they released as B-sides on a single? Like I couldn't find where they were released, but
Um,
Well, I think Harder Faster is one of W.A.S.P best tracks, and I was looking for
yeah,
it. I could only find the live version, you know.
yeah, me too. That's all it's on. It doesn't say any information on where it was, if it was written beforehand. There's a studio version of it, but I don't know. But it's a good live album though.
I love
Really
that
is good.
record. I really do. One of my favorite live records.
Oh, absolutely. All right.
So what do we got? The number four release. My first W.A.S.P record, The Headless Children.
Yeah, Headless Children.
And, it's one of those records I got lost in as a kid. And
Yeah,
I just, it was the first W.A.S.P record I heard in its entirety. And I made it mine. I loved everything about it. I loved, it was a very mature record. Going back
yeah.
into the discography, to me, it was their most mature record that they did up to that point.
Yes, definitely more. I don't want to say. I don't know how you put it. Like you said, I guess mature is the best word for it. Like
You
they
know,
the
like
songs were more like adult, like I guess not like kid kind of.
it's hard to put my finger on like what's different about it. All I can say, it just felt like a little more mature compared to the other stuff.
Yes, yes, and I love the production on it too.
Yeah, I mean, amazing.
And it's produced by Blackie too. Yeah, and it's the first one with Johnny Rod on bass because now Blackie went back to guitar when Randy Piper was out of the band,
Right.
and well, Randy Piper was out of the bill. He was on the band the last one. That's right. That's Johnny Rod was on the last one too.
He was out of after Last Command, wasn't he, Piper?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
Yeah, but this one has Frankie Banali on drums.
Yeah. Yeah.
She does a killer job too.
Amazing record. It really
Because
is.
what I heard was when they released this album, Frankie was still in Quiet Riot, and they did a Quiet Riot album with Paul Shortina, which failed, and he just went off that tour after it went right to join W.A.S.P on the tour.
Yeah.
So
Rebel and the
crazy.
FDG, I think, is one of their most underrated tracks. It's so good.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got great tunes on this one. I love the ballad "Forever Free."
Great. I had that
Great
shirt
tune.
when I was in high school. It was a white wasp shirt, and it had like a. I just remember that shirt for some reason because it was one of the only wasp shirts that I had as a kid, and it was a white shirt and it had like a rose or some shit on it, and it said "Forever
Oh yeah, yeah, I
Free,"
remember
and
that.
you know,
Yeah, this would be my number three.
it's my number one.
Up, don't I can't blame you there. Not at all.
It's got
Not at all.
nostalgia factor for me. My first
It's
wasp
got a
record,
Yep,
loved it.
absolutely. Absolutely. Okay.
Let's
And
go to
now we're up to record five.
1992, and the record number five, another opus, George.
That's their first real opus, yeah. Crimson Idol.
Crimson Idol.
Nice job with this one. We got Bob Kulick on guitars on this one. Basically, I think Chris Holmes out of the band at this point.
Yeah.
And you don't know how it was going to be. I mean, I think I just brought this like when I saw it out. I didn't even know who was in and out of the band at this point.
Yeah.
I just was like, oh, new W.A.S.P album. Let
Me
me get
neither.
it.
Me neither. I didn't know.
You know. Actually, the first thing I bought was this little EP thing. It was the story of Jonathan Part Two
Yep.
with a couple tracks. That's what I had for that.
That's cool.
But there's another Part One. I never bought the Part One though. But it's good though. I thought it's like, oh, this is different.
And it's
Definitely
a
different for
story
W.A.S.P.
about, a young musician coming into the music business and how the executives are trying to rip him off.
Yeah,
Kind of a cool story because you hear it from all these musicians how the record companies try and get one over on them in the beginning, especially.
yeah, yeah,
So it's a cool story.
yeah.
I think this has the best Wasp track ever on it. Which is Chainsaw Charlie Murders in the Nude.
Oh, yes.
That
I'm a
track
cocksucking
just
asshole. I'm a cocksucking asshole.
blows my doors off every time I
Yeah,
hear it. Like when
that's a
that
great tune.
part starts, uh,
Yeah,
the president of showbiz, my name is like that just
yeah,
does something to me. Like it's such a great moment, and I just have to like put my fucking fists in the air every time it comes
absolutely,
on.
absolutely. It's great. It's got good. Arena Pleasure is really good too.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
what do you go, Doctor Rocker and the
yep.
Idol. The song Idol is really very good.
Amazing, amazing tracks on this one.
Yeah, he really did a good job. It just sounds good too. It's just I know they redid it later. I didn't buy that, so I'm not even counting that one because
I don't want to
why would
hear
you
it.
mess with that? Why
Like
would you mess with perfection?
that's perfect the way it is. I don't want to
Yeah,
hear another version of it, honestly.
absolutely. Yep, I agree. What we have to do?
What comes
Oh yeah,
after Crimson Idol?
still not black enough.
1995, still not black enough.
And there's my signed copy by Bob Kulick when I met him. Rest in peace, Bob Kulick. What's
Life.
funny is when I met him, Bob, at the one of the Kiss conventions. And I know what to have him sign. I could have had him sign the Paul Stanley album because he played on that. I was, no, I'll bring a W.A.S.P album. I'll bring this one because he can sign it. And he
Yeah.
signed it really big, as you can see.
Did he say anything
And it's
about the record when you?
all he said to me, he signed it. He's like, looks at me like, yeah, say hi to Blackie for me.
Is that
I
what he
guess he
said?
have a good relationship with Blackie. I'm like, oh crap. I'm like, I'm sorry. I said, no, it's cool. I played on, I just he said it like, oh shit, he must have a problem with Blackie.
Yeah, I hear that a
What a
lot.
surprise. Yeah,
The
what a
Knicks members
surprise.
having problems with Blackie, but
Yeah, yeah. But I think that's why he signed it so big because he's like, oh, now you can't have Blackie sign it. I don't know.
I saw
Like I'm
something
meeting
where
Blackie.
Chris Holmes said he rewrote basically. I think it was 95 Nasty or something like that, and
Yeah,
he never got like the writing credits for it.
not surprised.
He's bitter about that, but
Yeah. But this one actually is a lot better than I used to think it was. So I mean the opening track still not black enough is good. I like the cover of the Jefferson Airplane song. Somebody
it's
loved it, did a nice
it's a
job with
decent
it.
cover. Yeah,
Yeah. Scared to Death is a good one. So is Rock and Roll. Rock and Roll to Death. They liked all that rock and roll stuff. But it's good. It's just I would probably put this at number 9 now.
for me,
So I
still
get
not
it.
black enough is at number 7.
Cool. I mean, it's grown up the list. It used to be like that one I used to like a lot, but I was doing. I mean, it was really just quite good.
Yeah, but
So
I remember hearing this, as a kid, and I just felt like it took a big step down from songwriting from Crimson Idol, Headless Children.
yeah,
And to me, that was like this one and the record that came after this one was like it for me when it came to Was. Like once I heard KFD, like I was out, So, but we'll get we'll get to that one.
we're we're getting to that. Yep. So so you don't have the other one. Would you have? Right. I forgot you don't have these. So there's the next one. KFD.
I have all the later stuff digitally.
That's fine. But I got them here. So anyway, terrible album cover.
It
And
is. Yeah.
this one, I actually like this one. I'm one of the few people that actually
I
like
know
it.
you do, and I was going
I
to
like
ask you about
that
it.
whole
Like,
it's like industrial wasp.
yeah,
And I think they do when Chris Holmes is back. Kind of weird that Chris Holmes goes back and they do like industrial kind of wasp album, but
weird,
I
I
mean
mean,
you have to decide with the pig, he'll fuck die.
yeah. The one song that I like on here that stands out to me is "Kill Ahead." Uh,
Yellowhead's great.
other than that, I'm very mum on this record.
Yeah. I understand most people don't like it. I'm one of the weird ones that like it.
Yeah, a
I
lot of
love the
people like
opening.
it.
I love the opening track. I love Kill Ahead. I love Kill Your Pretty Face is a great one. Little Death is good. And You and Wicked Love. Wicked Love's the only thing that sounds more like an actual Wasp song. Everything else sounds industrial. That one sounds like it belongs on a Wasp album.
Yeah,
But I actually like it. I would have this one at number 7.
KFD
So
is actually my number 13.
okay. Gotta put him somewhere.
You got to put it somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That leads
what's
us
up
with the next
next?
one.
1999.
Yep. Eldorado. And get out the cover. There it is. And this one is to me a big letdown after the last one. The songs are juvenile. I mean, they got a song called Dirty Balls. Now, this is the first tour I saw them with. So I saw them with Chris Holmes, and the show was great. I've actually talked about this on my channel. When my friend and I went to see them at the small club in New Jersey, which isn't there anymore, the Birch Hill, and they come out, and Wasp has this big logo which he lights up, and it's not a big club, but his ceiling's like right there.
Yeah.
So he lights this thing, and this is right after the whole thing, the Great White thing
Oh
with the
man.
fire. And he lights it. My friend looks back at me like, "Oh my god, we're gonna die in here!" And we're just like, "Holy shit!" The flames were getting real high, and I'm like, "Oh my god, we're gonna die inside the Birch Hill." Where's the exit? And then they put it out like immediately. But I was just like, "Holy crap!"
Yeah.
But his whole thing was his mic stand was on this almost like a motorcycle thing where he'd rock back and forth like this on it and
Yeah.
sing, and it was a killer show.
Yeah.
They did a good job. They did play songs on this. The only weird thing is they would have like video screens around it, And they played Dirty Balls. I don't know why, and they played Fuck Like a Beast. And whenever they showed that, they showed a porno.
Oh, really?
So they showed a porno as you're watching it. And I'm like, and it was like, and this is like in 90 something. This is like a porno from like the 70s.
Yeah.
It was just like, this is really gross. It wasn't like, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't really want to see this
Yeah.
70s porn, but like when I watched the W.A.S.P show.
He's
I really
got
thought it
a,
was very, I thought that was very poor taste on their part, you know?
he's got the most ridiculously big mic stand I've ever seen. Like it's fuck. You
Yes.
can't even see him.
No, he's right behind it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is my number 13.
On this album, I mean, I like it. Not one of my favorites. You know, it's like a mid album for me. I like Hell Dorado. I think that's probably my favorite track
That's a
off the
good song.
record.
Yeah, I'll give
Uh,
that one.
I put this one at number 10 for me.
Cool. Well, this one's also got what's it got on it? This is have I'm thinking another album, I think. Damnation Angels is good. Then you got Saturday Night Cockfight. That's what I'm talking about, the juvenile thing. Like, really? I mean, I think that because the last album they put that was like so much different, and they put a lot of thought. And I think it's like, oh, this is right around the W.A.S.P album. We'll just put stupid lyrics on it. Like that's what they did.
Yeah.
So, man, that's what you're gonna do there.
Now
But
we're on to the
okay,
2000s.
2000, no, yep, 2001 with Unholy Terror. The last one with Chris Holmes.
Yep.
And I saw them for this tour too, but Chris was out of the band by this point. When the album was
Yeah.
released, he was gone already. This is a really good one. I've heard a lot of people talk about the later W.A.S.P albums, and this one's really up there. And I mean, every song I think is great. Unholy Terror, the title track is great. Locomotive Man, Ravenheart, Wasted White Boys is great. One of my favorites on here. It just brought back more of the W.A.S.P feel, like from
Right.
more like from the what do you call it? From the had the children kind of that era.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of. And I had this one at number 6.
This is my number 6 too.
Oh, there you go. Great
Yeah.
minds. Great
I
minds.
think my favorite tracks on here are probably Charisma and Let It Roar.
Well, they're all good. I don't think you pick a bad song.
It's a
If they get it
solid
right,
record. To
yeah,
me, it's the best record after the early stuff.
yeah. It's a good one. Excellent
Yeah.
one. Cool. And we're up to 2002. They put one after the other.
Year later, yeah.
Yep, and it's Dying for the World. Not crazy about the album cover, but
Yeah.
this one is the first one with let me find his name in here. Come on, I hate when I can't find the names in here. They had an order for him in here though. I think it's Roberts.
You'll find
Yeah, Frankie Banali's on drums on this one too. Darryl Roberts, that's it.
Joe Roberts. Yep.
Mike Duda on bass, which he's still with him to this day, I think. And this one I think starts off really good, and it's kind of loses its little luster for me at the end. But the first track, Shadow Man, My Wicked Heart, and Black Bone Torso, Hell for Eternity is good, and then it kind of just falls a little short after that, in my opinion.
I
So
like Shadow Man a lot. I like Hollowed Ground and Revengeance. I think those are really two really
yeah,
solid
they're pretty
tracks
good
too.
too. Yeah, yeah. I have this one at number 11.
Dying for the World is my number 11. Wow,
Oh
it's
my
two in a
God,
row. Two in a
how
row.
about that? Yeah, good, good, good. Okay, and we have now the Neon God Part One. Both came out. The first two came out in the same year,
I know.
and they're both the same cover.
Yeah.
This one, this one and the next one, because you can kind of pretty much at least talk about them together, you know. But I just there's only a couple songs on here. I can't. Actually, both those albums, I really can't think of any that really stands out.
I was
I
just
think they
gonna
could have made
say
one good album with this one, one decent album. I really don't think there's nothing stands out to me.
if I
It's
was
too
making
long.
if I was doing a W.A.S.P compilation of my favorite tracks, there would be no tracks off the Neon God records. I'm sorry. There's just
Absolutely, absolutely. Yep. There's the other one too. So yeah, so I would put the Neon God one at number 14.
like I can't find. I mean, I tried to look for something that I liked in both of those records, and believe it or not, on part two, The Last Redemption, I thought is a decent track. It's like a 13-minute track. It's very long,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
it's decent.
It was too the whole both they didn't need to do this whole big, you know.
it comes
And the
down to
last,
songwriting, George. The story is the story, but like you got to write good songs too.
yeah,
I
yeah,
just
he
don't
kind of
think the
repeats
songs are.
himself with the melodies too a
Yeah,
lot. So he does do that. But I put the Neon God at 2 at number 15. That'd be my least favorite
yeah. I
of
got
all
I
of them.
got part one at number 15 and part two at number 14.
So we just flip flopped them.
Yeah,
Yeah, just not their best moment.
and the reason I put number two at 14 was because of that last track, the last redemption, which I just mentioned. So
Yeah, that's good. Okay. All right, then we go up to 2007 with Dominator. Not the best cover ever.
no.
But this one actually I never used to like at first, and it's grown on me a little more. So it's actually quite good.
The more I
You know,
listen
this
to
one,
this one, the more it grows on me.
yeah, it's got let me see, again Mike Duda. Guitar is by Doug Blair. Don't know who he is, and Mike Dupke is on drums. But it's a pretty solid album though.
It
I guess
is.
I never used to like it too much, but it's got some good tracks. I mean, Mercy's good, and Long Way to Go is a good one too. Heaven's Hung in Black, I thought that's a really good one.
Me too. I like that one.
So,
I like the Burning Man. I like Mercy. It's a fairly solid record, I think.
yeah, where would you rank it?
Dominator is my number 9.
That is my number 12.
Wow.
Yep. So then we go 2009 with a Babylon, which I think is a great cover too. I love the album cover.
Yeah.
This one I really really enjoyed this one when it first came out. I was like, this one really does it. Almost the same lineup from the last one too. So yeah, they're on the back there. But this one I thought was really good. I like even like Deep Purple cover of
Yeah.
Burn.
I think it's a solid record. Crazy is
It's a very
good.
good.
Babylon's Burning is good. Seas of
Yep,
Fire, I think, is really good.
absolutely. I think every track's good on it. Even do like the Promised Land. I think that's also a cover.
Yeah.
You know?
And the Deep Purple cover was on this one. I thought, I'm not a huge Deep Purple fan, but
Yeah, I know.
they did a great job on that cover for Burn.
Yeah, yeah. What I like about this one too is it doesn't have like 9 songs on it. Instead
Yep.
of putting like 18 songs on it,
Totally agree.
like some of these bands did at the time, it was
Yep.
like they cut it down and they made a pretty damn good album. So
Nine or
yeah, I
ten
would have
songs is a perfect length for me.
yeah. Yeah, and I had this one at number 8.
Babylon is my number 8.
Oh my God,
There we
that's
go.
crazy. Yeah, but it's good though. Like I said, I said that so many bands need to like hold back with the songs.
Yeah,
You don't have to fill up 78 minutes on a CD or a record because then but to put that on a record, that's like what 2.5 LPs sometimes,
no, I know.
which is a crazy too. But then you got to then I know what I'm not gonna buy the vinyl, but I know when if they put too many songs on and they put too much stuff on a record, it kind of
Yeah,
once you move the groove down, it doesn't sound as good when you get to the end of the record, right?
right, right. Yeah, a lot of them have to cut stuff out. You'll see missing tracks off the vinyls because they cut them out, couldn't fit them.
Yeah,
So
that kind of sucks. And then we got the last one, which I can't believe the last one is 2015.
I know. I was gonna
10
say that.
years ago.
I was gonna
What
say
what are you
that, man.
doing?
He's due.
I know. So Golgotha, which I think is a great cover.
Good cover.
This
Yep.
could almost look like a death metal cover or
Yeah.
something.
Yep.
You know, if it was upside down, it could be a Deicide cover. Which now you're getting me into now, Deicide. So
Oh,
thanks a
there we
lot.
go. There we go.
Yeah. But yeah, this one's good. This is more when he got really found God. So now it's just his religious thing. 'Cause, he became a born again.
Yeah.
But it's good. Screams and opening track is great. Last Runaway, I think, is the only single they put out from this one, which is good. And it's got good songs. The last song, Golgotha, is kind of like an epic song, but it's not bad at all.
Yeah.
But I think it's solid. Again, it's got doesn't have many. It's not like 9 or 10 songs on here, and it works. And I think it's good for their last release. And I put this at number 10.
Golgotha for me, I put at number 12. Um,
Okay.
I really like two songs a lot from this record, and one of them I think is really good, and that's Miss You. I think that might be the best modern W.A.S.P track, at least for me. I thought it was a beautiful track. He sings it beautifully. It's very
Yeah.
catchy, sort of, ballady. Um,
Yeah.
and I like Scream on that one a lot too. So
Yeah. It's a good one though. Yeah.
Funny you mentioned God because I always pictured Blackie as like the metal version of like a Dave Mustaine, because it's Megadeth is the Dave Mustaine show. It seems like Wasp is the Blackie Lawless show. So they're very similar in that way. They're both
Yes.
artists that both found, God again later on in their lives.
Yeah.
Um, they cover like when you we talked about Blackie Lawless's covers and the stuff that he covers. Mustaine is very similar in the stuff that he covers.
Yes. Very
Um,
true.
Mustaine is covering Willie Dixon and Nancy Sinatra and the Sex Pistols and Sabbath, Kiss,
Yeah.
Budgie. So I
Yeah.
think they're very similar in their uh
Way
music,
of thinking.
what they were brought up on is what I'm saying. So
Yes.
to me, they're very
Absolutely.
similar, just different genres to me.
Yeah. Excellent stuff, though. Yeah, it's good.
So is I was going to ask you, do you know if he's working on stuff? Is he writing songs or
I haven't heard anything since he just decided to do the first album in its entirety on tour. That's all
right?
I've heard. And I think they played nearby, but I played. My friend wanted me to go, but it was in like I think Brooklyn or something. I said, dude, I can't work on Brooklyn on like a Tuesday night. I got to work in the morning.
Yeah, they
You
they
know?
did play here not too long ago, but I couldn't make it. It was a weeknight.
Yeah,
I couldn't get the day off the next day. It was just one of those things. But
yeah, it's tough for me too to do that 'cause I can't like I don't have anyone do my job for
I have
me.
adult responsibilities.
That's right. That's right. It sucks getting older. You got to do what you got to do. That's the way it is.
So, what are your favorite top five W.A.S.P tracks?
All right. We're gonna go from five to one. Number five would be the title track for Inside the Electric Circus.
Love it,
I like the way it starts off like almost like a train.
love it.
This that's when number four would be The Torture Never Stops from the first album. That's an underrated track.
Yep.
And just the way he sings it, just chugs along. I think that's one of their better tracks on the album. So no one talks about that one though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Number three would be Thunderhead. Like that's just the riff when it starts off is just amazing. So I thought that was another really good one. And number two is Wild Child. Great opening track for that. Of course, my favorite album there.
Yep.
And actually, my favorite song, which is probably weird, is "Running Wild in the Streets."
Is it really?
Yeah, that's
No
my favorite song.
kidding.
I don't know why. It's a strange song to like your best, but that's the one.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna lie to you.
I mean, try to pick your top five W.A.S.P tracks. He's got so many good tracks, especially on
Yeah.
those first five records. But number five for me is Wild Child. I mean, has to be in my top five. Number
Yeah.
four is Sleeping in the Fire. I just
Uh,
love the whole feel of that song. It's
that's a
so
great one
good.
too. That almost made it in.
Yeah. Number three is The Heretic, The Lost Child, the opening track on The Headless Children. Oh,
Epic
gives me
track too.
chills
Yeah,
every time I hear it. Number two
absolutely.
is Chainsaw Charlie, Murders in the New Morgue. I just love everything about that track. And my number one is Inside the Electric Circus. Like,
Awesome. Yeah,
yeah.
we got one.
Every
Cool. Very nice.
anytime I hear any of those tracks, I get chills. It's like, ooh, this is so good. You know the feeling,
Yeah,
right?
it's so cool. Like, even all these years later, you can still get a chill from listening to a song.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, you hear like, oh, I gotta hear that song again.
yeah.
That's excellent. Yeah, good choices. There's no bad choices.
No, no, and I am listening to the later W.A.S.P discography again, and the more I listen to these records, the more they grow on me. And
Yeah,
again, not everything he's done is gold, but it's still pretty good. The later
yeah,
stuff for me. So,
cool. Very cool. Good stuff. Good band. They need some new material.
and Blackie was born in what 1956. That would make him what 68.
Yeah,
He's
his
68.
name.
So yeah,
Yeah, Stephen Duran. That's his real name.
Stephen Duran. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, probably no one calls him Steve except his mother. I don't know if she's still alive.
Anything
But
else you
yeah,
want to add before we wrap it up here, George?
no, just they're a great band live. But there was I saw them like been like almost 30 years since I've seen them live.
Yeah,
But I've saw a couple clips online, and there's a whole thing with the backing track stuff. But Blackie says he uses them.
yeah.
He's not saying no, I don't. At least he admits it. Some of the bands go, no, I don't Blackie backing. He uses backing tracks.
Blackie's got
He admits
balls
it.
of
He goes,
steel.
yeah, he goes, it enhances the music. What am I gonna do?
He's got
At least he
balls of
admits it.
steel. He does it his way. He don't care what anybody else thinks.
Yeah, absolutely,
Gotta respect it.
absolutely.
So, George, man, thanks for hanging out, talking about Wasp. I've been on such a Wasp kick lately, and it's going to continue. So,
There you
appreciate
go.
you coming on and shooting the shit about Wasp with me.
Oh, it was great. It was a very great band. Love to talk about it with you. So I'm glad that
Everybody out
you
there,
asked me
let
to
us
come
know
on.
what you think of Wasp. Do you like the later stuff as much as the early stuff? What are some of your favorite tracks? What are some of your favorite records? What do you think of Blackie Lawless? Throw the comments below.
Oh, that
And
should be one for people.
he's a
Can't
love
wait
him
to
or
see
hate
those
him kind of
comments.
guy. He really is.
Exactly.
So, thanks for hanging with us on the Realms of Metal, George. George's Room of Rock. Check his channel out. He's got a great channel, and we'll see you guys again real soon.
Take it easy, guys.